Well, thank you for letting me be with you today. And the question you ask is a really interesting one, and it's one that I get asked all the time. And that is, why Nikken? Why am I here with Nikken? And it's interesting, it's timely, because as we look at the industry that we're a part of, for example, last year, 2013, we saw over $100 billion in sales go through our industry, created as a result of the industry that we're a part of. In Europe, I have the privilege of sitting, by nature of the position that I hold, on the CEO Council for CELDIA, which is the industry association for the European region. And collectively, that association is responsible for over $20 billion worth of industry just in the European region. By consequence of this association, and by nature of the role that I fill, I'm frequently asked this question, why Nikken? But to answer it, I really need to go back and kind of challenge you with a couple of questions in order to get that answer really making sense. So the question I've got is, what is it you're really seeking for, and how can you truly measure when you've got it? If we look in an economical environment, for example, we see that governments will typically measure success by gross domestic product. The more they have of it, the more successful they feel that they are. But as we look into the postmodern world that we're moving into, we see a new yardstick needs to be used to really measure success. And that yardstick now is happiness. What we are seeing as a trend, whilst we have ups and downs, peaks and troughs financially in the economies around the world, we are still moving in an upwards direction. There is still growth. But what this represents is, through statistical research and analysis, a potential of 25% of the world's population will enter into the middle classes by the year 2030. That's quite significant. The material dream that the Western economies have promoted and advocated and championed for the last 50 years or so, which is cars, travel, fashion, houses, homes, that type of thing, is largely fulfilled in the Western world, but is really being taken hold of with some degree of vigor and enthusiasm in the Eastern economies, which is why they're thriving ahead of us right now, and they're speeding at a faster rate of growth. Why is the Western world not traveling at that same speed? Because we're in between dreams. We've largely fulfilled that. Many of us are reaching the middle classes now, and we have money to spend. So what do we pursue? What are we seeking? All of a sudden, that gross domestic product becomes less and less relevant when it is so readily available. So the real measurement then is happiness. And what researchers are showing is what people are now starting to pursue more than ever, as they are pursuing this new dream, as we enter into this new phase of economic growth as a global entity. People are looking for a voice, a chance to have freedom, but in a different context, not just in the choice of time, but in the opportunity to have contribution, involvement, have purpose, have meaning, have value. People are looking for well-being, not just about lifestyle, but to really have that well-being in the sense of who they are, in the relationships that they enjoy. Organizations are becoming much flatter. People's voices are being elevated much more clearly. People want to have a sense of belonging and opportunity to contribute. So when you look at all of these factors coming together, and most importantly at the heart of that, really lies balance. People are wanting to pursue balance. And as they achieve that, they get that happiness factor. Now, why is this important? Why do I ask this question or raise these points? It's because this is something that researchers are starting to discover as a result of economic change around the world. That people are in a state of limbo. They're looking from one dream into the next and are recognizing that in order to have fulfillment, they need to pursue happiness. And that fulfillment comes from purpose, from contribution, from having a voice, from having recognition and a meaning to what they're doing and having value in their relationships. This is what Nikken has been championing for now nearly 40 years. This isn't something we've been doing because it's a fad, because all of a sudden that's what other companies are doing. This is what has been at the very core of our DNA. A lot of people have all sorts of different formulas as to how to measure a good network marketing company. They might say, look at the executives of the company, look at the compensation plan, look at the products. I say you've got to look much deeper than that. You've got to look at the real DNA of the organization and ask, what is their purpose? What is their instinctive why? Our instinctive why is to help human beings become their very best. We call it humans being more. We seek after and help to promote and advocate balance across what we have as the 5 pillars of health: healthy mind, a healthy body, healthy finances, healthy community, and of course our healthy families. It is these 5 pillars, when we get balance there, that we have true abundance, true happiness, true fulfillment, true contribution to society, to our lives, to ourselves, to our family. This is what matters. This is what Nikken is all about. We've been championing it for 40 years. We'll champion it for the next 40 years and beyond. And that is why I want to be part of Nikken.